Major Ridgeway, I want to come back to something you said earlier. Your specific words were they, referring to the operational planners. Weren't prepared to solve the problem. Do you remember saying that?
I do.
Do you mean that they underestimated the amount of assets that would be needed to complete the job?
It wasn't just about manpower or firepower. It was about willpower. They saw the enemy in the wrong terms.
What terms were those?
They viewed them as a military obstacle that required a military solution. As a belief. A mistaken belief that had to be disproven if we wanted our enemy to abandon it. It's not easy. It takes conviction, commitment, willpower.
Huh. How did you see them?
As a belief. A mistaken belief that had to be disproven if we wanted our enemy to abandon it.
Can you disprove a belief?
It's not easy. It takes conviction, commitment, willpower. Mr. Vice President, you asked to see me?
Colonel, it's a pleasure to meet you in person. Thank you for making time.
I'm at your service, sir.
Let me speak frankly. If we don't get this outbreak under control right quick, there's a good chance we're not coming back from this.
I agree with your assessment, sir.
Then I hope you won't be shocked to hear I'm recommending a mandatory quarantine in D.C.
Well, that won't be popular.
The question is, can it be done?
Not without adversity, but it can be done.
Then do it. I'm putting you in charge.
Me, sir?
Can you think of anyone better for the job?
No, sir.
I'll want a full report on what you want to do and what you need to make it happen.
Colonel, what you did was an atrocity.
You weren't there, General. You didn't see what we saw.
Don't give me that horseshit.
It's easy to pass judgment from the comfort of a federal shelter or sitting on a court-martial panel.
You had a responsibility to those people.
I had a responsibility to my men. Was I supposed to look them in the eye and tell them it made sense for them to risk getting sick? Dying? For what? A bunch of strangers that weren't likely to make it through the winter anyway?
What about the doctors? Construction crews. It wasn't just infected people, you goddamn murderer. You had orders to keep them safe.
Orders? Do you know why my men follow me, General? Because they know I won't throw their lives away. That if they're loyal to me, I'll be loyal to them. A commander who isn't loyal to his men isn't worthy of command.
Face the wall.
I am still your superior. You will address me as sir.
Face the wall, or you be beaten within an inch of your life, sir.
You seem to have a bit of an attitude problem, soldier.
You seem to have a problem following simple instructions, Colonel. This is your last warning. Face the wall.
Whatever you say, son. You're the big man in here.
Colonel Ridgeway, it's good to see you, sir.
Masters, what are you doing here?
Breaking you out of this shithole, sir.
That's very decent of you, Corporal.
Being decent is my greatest ambition, sir. Shall we get you the hell out of here?
No, not just yet. Let's liberate these other soldiers from their cells. See if any of them are interested in joining the greater cause.
Yes, sir.
You keeping up with the news, Antwon?
Yeah, can't stomach it.
My daddy was in Saigon in '75. He talked about this kind of thing. Beginning of the end, but nobody's ready to admit it.
Because they aren't ready to survive it.
That's what they got us for.
Anybody believe that's in for a nasty surprise?
You ain't sticking around?
Oh, I'm sticking around. I got my men to look after. Everybody else, though, they can fend for themselves. Because many of you are new to the unit, I want to go over the ground rules. The rules apply to all of us, and they are to be obeyed without fail. Rule number 1, the unit is sacred. Anyone who disrespects a true son is an enemy of all true sons. Rule number 2, every soldier fights. There's no place among us for cowards and malingerers. Rule number 3, readiness is obligatory. A true son must be prepared for action at all times. Equipment properly maintained, well-rested, well-fed, sober. Obey these rules and you will prosper. Violate them and you will suffer consequences. Dismissed.
Were you able to recover the Master Sergeant's body?
Most of it. By the time we got to him, they'd cut his head off.
As a trophy?
Hell if I know. I assumed it was psychological warfare.
Huh. Was it at this time that you called in the fire mission on the village?
It was?
Because you were taking fire?
Sure, that's what I reported.
You lied?
I said what was necessary. We had to bring the hammer down fast.
Weren't you concerned about collateral damage?
I was hoping for it. What the division understands that JTF command never did is that this is war. Our rules of engagement were based on the fool notion that we were policing a civilian population. Meanwhile, factional warfare was raging all around us, and we were in the crossfire. It's all because our commanders weren't out there with us. They were holed up in bunkers, staring at maps and reading reports and drawing diagrams on whiteboards, making assumptions, and getting men killed. Firing squads are too good for those cowards. The old world is gone, and I say we're better off. It was a world for schemers and manipulators and exploiters, for cheats and liars and parasites. Our enemies oppose our cause. They detest our methods, but they can't say we lack integrity or conviction. We may be brutal, merciless, but we are honorable. This world, the new world, is for those willing to work for it, fight for it, stand their ground, regardless of the cost. Even if it means being hated, even if it means being at war the rest of your days.